Hey, thank you so much for joining me. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Want to share a few things with you real quick. um, First of all, congratulate to me, honey. I am now a great grandmama. First time, honey. What can I say? Anyway, I say to say this: the experience that I had with my great grandson coming, my king coming in here, I had to share it, honey. If I don't share it, honey, Skip is a butterfly. You know it's peanut butter. Here we go. Um, the odds was against him. You know, they said he had a 10 percentile, 10%, honey, chances of, but honey, right after July the 4th, here comes Mr. Man, honey. And I had just stepped out the room, just stepped out the room. When I came back in, I saw everybody running around. I said, what's going on? She's ready. I said, ooh. He waited for me to come. Isn't it amazing? I just love it. So anyway, here he comes, his presence, right? And I saw him coming forth, and I'm like, yeah. And they said he'd probably be no more about 3 pounds, end up being in the incubator, yada, yada, boom, boom. Honey, when I saw him coming through, I said, this ain't no 3 pound baby. And he wasn't. Honey, almost 6 pounds, and he was early. Because they took him early. They said they got to take him early. They said, they said, they said, oh, honey, whew, when he got here, this is the mom, that first time parents, right? And I was like, oh my God, I hope that, everything's going to turn out okay. Not just the baby coming forth, but parents been ready, right? And honey, it was. When my little man got here, I walked over there where they was cleaning him up at, and I'm looking, and he came out howling. That's what I liked about him. They had to pop him, honey. He came out howling like he was roaring like the king he is. I love, hey, I'm here. I love it, you know. So he gets here, and they cleaning him up. I'm watching, and I'm taking my little pictures, videos, and everything, proud great grandmama, just doing my thing. Because I saw something. I saw something. So I'm taking these pictures, a little recording here and there. And then they finally got him dressed up, and they asked the mama, you want skin to skin? And she was looking at me. I said, you want him there on top of you? She said, yeah. And they laid the baby on her. And she transformed. When that baby touched her, she transformed. She became a mother. And it was a greatest experience. She became a mother. And this is the kicker. When they was cleaning her up, they was turning her over. She had the baby on her. She was holding the baby. And they was turning her. And the daddy said, don't drop the baby. And her voice, which is really soft, it's soft and light. Ain't nothing like mine, honey. She said, I ain't gonna drop my baby. But the voice, honey, the strength that came out of that, the power that came out of that was more powerful than I've ever heard her sound before. The confidence, the mother came out. She birthed the mother right there. The mama came out, ooh. And I got excited. I was sitting back and I was getting excited, right? And then, she laid with him, and I'm watching the two of them, bonding. And then I realized he just changed the room. This baby just changed the room. And most people didn't get it. They didn't see it, but I did. Now, I ain't saying this baby no different than nobody else's baby been born. And I just said when he was born, he changed the room. Let me tell you how. The feelings that I had, my my thoughts, the insecurities of, him being born and first time parent, all these, honey, he changed the room and gave me peace. He gave me peace in knowing he's all right. So I watched everybody, there was their turn. That was their day. They were new parents. Uh, the new grandparent was in there. I said, that's their day. So I got my little stuff together. I said, well, girl, my job is done. I'm going to go home. Well, the doctors looked at me like, what she mean her job is done? We wanted to help you deliver. They had no idea what I was talking about, honey. Those of you that know, you know. My job was done, honey. He beat everything they said. Right, honey. I went on home while I was in my bed resting. He came to me, and we had a little combo, and we talked. And I realized, okay, I'll be back tomorrow, and we're gonna finish this conversation because there's some things he needs me to tell him. Yeah, honey, because he get ready to go on this journey, and I gotta get him ready for the journey. I love it. Mhm. So the next day, I go to the hospital. I gets there, honey, and walks in the room. I said, "Where my baby at?" We needed a break last night, so we asked the nurse to take the baby out. I said, "You need a what last night? A break?" I said, "Who gonna break y'all when y'all get home? Bring my baby in here." So she calls down there, right, timid. Um, yeah, how's my son doing? "Oh, okay, everything's going on." And then she hung the phone up, and he says, "Why you didn't tell him to bring the baby down?" He said it before I said it. And I'm looking at her. I said, you ain't got to beg and plead with somebody about your youngin', honey. Just tell him bring your child down here. I told him, come on, let's go. We're going here to the nursery. I know they'd be glad when I left. Went to the nursery. He walking all slow, like he's scared of. How y'all scared to go get your own baby? First of all, he's supposed to be in the room with you. I wouldn't have to go through this. But since I got to go through it, come on here, let's go. Then we got the baby down to the room. So I picks the baby up and I hose him. And I'm talking to him, right? Because I know y'all see the baby, but I see the man. I see the spirit within him. I know the power that has already been given to him. I know a part of his journey. I already see his walk in life. So I'm speaking to that person, that spirit, that soul, that king, honey. So I'm holding him and I said, now, and I'm talking to him, right? And they're in the background, like, what's she doing to our son? I'm still talking to him. And then I'm gonna tell you what he did. Honey, I'm talking to him like this. He grabbed he ain't but a day old. He was a day old now. He wasn't even 24 hours old. He grabbed my finger and held it. I got pictures, baby. And he held my finger with his hand, held my finger. And his daddy said, look at that. He's holding her fingers. He wouldn't grab mine. So I pulled my finger away from him. And then I put my hand back close to him again. And he just grabbed it again and held a fist on it, honey. And his dad said, he keeps holding her hand. Not hand, but my finger, right? And I moved it again. I'm trying to show them something. Like I'm trying to show them a connection that was here, the spiritual connection, honey. Y'all looking at something natural. I'm looking at something spiritual. He don't know what he's doing, but he know what he's doing. You hear me? Y'all got me, honey. And he grabbed my finger again, and he held on to me, and I'm talking to him. And I'm telling him about his journey. And I'm telling him about his life. And I'm telling him about the things he's got to do. And I'm telling him who he is and what he'll do. And he's holding my finger, eyes closed, holding my finger. He moved the room. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to be here to have this experience. It was the most beautiful thing I thought, right? And then watching that move day by day, just watching that move. So a week later, I go to visit him again, and my daughter came with me, and I let her hold the baby because she never had a chance to hold him. So while she's holding him, I'm talking to the mother. She says, Mama, every time you start talking, he jumps and he moves. I said, I know, because we're already in sync. We're in sync. He knows I'm in the room, and he knows who I am, not as the great grandmother, not the title that people, but he knows who I am. He knows why we must be. And it makes sense. and, and the thing I want to share, more important, yeah, honey, I'm bragging, honey. I'm happy. More important than that, honey, what I want to share most of all is this. The power that you've been given. Sometimes somebody has to come and awaken you so you would understand really your call in life. Because many times we're doing things, we don't understand it. But let me share something with you that I found out. And it changed my life when I understood it. And that is your blood. Your blood that runs through your veins, honey. That ran through your mother's and your father's veins. And your grandfather and your grandmother and your great, 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 all of those people. That same blood is still running through your veins. And your blood, honey, has a memory. Y'all, most of y'all know that, honey. Y'all know it. Y'all look at me like, okay, what else? What else? Your blood has a memory and it keeps up with things. You know? Oh, I'm just so excited just to share that so many times in life, I wondered how I knew things that I knew that I should not have known. How did I know that was going to happen when I know I was nowhere there for it to happen? How did I know that? How was I able to do things I know I didn't go to school for? What caused me to be able to put some things together in my life that I know, honey? I didn't have that. I didn't know one trained me in this, but I was capable of doing this, this, and this. Whatever it is, you do the same thing, right? And it's not you, it's your blood has a memory and it remembers what your great granddaddy did. It remembers what Papa did. It remembers Uncle John was doing this. It's in the blood, honey. And your blood has a memory. See, my great grandson, he still got some of my blood going through and has a memory. Catch that if you can. Catch it if you can, honey. You hear me? The things that you do. That's why people ask you these questions. You go to the doctor's office. They always ask about, family history. You know, did your mother have this? Your father? Who in your family had this? I'm like, I get tired of answering those questions, but then I understand it now. They're using what is spiritual and making it natural, right? Because the blood has a memory. It remembers. It had this infection. It had this going on. Yada yada. You know. And then so a lot of times it's not something you've done. It's just something you got to fight, honey. You just got to fight some things. And people say, your things you do. I said, look, don't fight me on things that I know. Don't fight me on things I know. You hold on to what you know. Don't let nobody stop you on things that you know. Because ain't nobody gonna stop me what I know, honey. Now, if I'm contemplating on it and I'm trying to figure this thing out, and you got grounds to fight me on that, honey, because I'm not really sure. When I know something, honey, here's what it is, honey. Hear me? So I know this. I know that sometimes I used to ask my mother when I was young. I said, Mama, who stay in this house right there? She said, honey, I don't know who stay in the house. I said, Mama, I've been in that house. She said, Jenny, you ain't never been in the house. I said, Mama, I've been in that house before. She said, Jenny, we ain't never been in that house. I said, Mama, I'm gonna tell you what the house looked like inside. I'm about 7, 8 years old. And I could tell my mom about who stayed in that house, when you go in the back door, was all. I laid the house out. And she's like, I don't know how you know that. Because you've never been in there. I've never been in that house. I said, okay. It was another kind of neighborhood. We shouldn't have been in for that. But I knew that house. And sometimes you meet people and you know them, right? And your bloodline, honey, is familiar with what it knows. You're capable of doing things. You watch athletes who their children turn out, or stars, anybody. Their children trying to do the same thing they do, become great at it. Not so much is it because they're watching their mother or their father do it, but it's in their blood. It has a memory. It remembers. And sometimes it needs to be awakened. To be awakened, honey. To wake up and understand that what you used to sleep on, what you did not know before, the things that you didn't understand before, you realize now that the only reason why I know this now is because it's in the bloodline. My blood has a memory. It memorizes what happened oh gosh, 300 years ago, 700 years ago, way back in the way backs. And it will recall itself. It will recall itself, honey. So just relax, and just awaken yourself. And in the mornings or in the early day, learning how to invoke, the powers that be to move in your life, have the way in your life, and just, lead you. Because the problem most of the time when we try to lead our, we already know our plans for the day. We know. So we start to go and do our plans and wonder why sometimes it's a mess up in it. Because we're not being led, honey. We're not being guided. We're just doing exactly what we think we should be doing. And a lot of times driving is not where we need to be. We need to be on the passenger side, being led sometimes. Because the spirit that will lead you knows exactly where you're supposed to be, who you are supposed to meet, the timing, everything is in line, right? But when we take the wheel, because we got plans and we're gonna do this, many times we mess up because our GPS gets off sometimes. Sometimes you ride, you got your GPS going and it take you on the road, and you said, that's not how they get over here. GPS, it has failures because it's not perfect. It's not. Neither are you. Neither are we. You, me, we. You're not perfect. But the spirit, honey, that will lead you into all truth. Truth, baby. You know why? Because your spirit doesn't know anything about lying. You do, not the spirit. It's full of truth, honey. I like it. I like it. When we know that we know that we know that there is great awakenings that happens to all of us. And when we wake up out of our sleep, because even in the Bible it tells many sleep among you, many will sleep, and some are going to sleep on. But to those of us that understand it, it's time to wake up out of our sleep, understand our purpose, and then understand. Look, once that's the easiest part. Then once you understand that, yield yourself over to the spirit that's ready to lead you. Yield yourself over to it. You know what I mean? I'm clueless on what I need to be doing. I think I should do this, but I'm really clueless. But now, if you lead me and you know where I'm supposed to go, I cannot go wrong. I like it. That's good. So today, get in a place. Get in a place where you understand that. You understand that you have a leader that's willing to lead you if you're willing to follow. And that leader runs through the blood of your spirit, and it's wide awoke, honey, full of knowledge and wisdom, ready to go. Isn't it awesome? Honey, please. So today, we thank you for your time. We thank you for the moments. I hope this has been enlightening to you. The inhale, baby. So awesome. I love you. You have a fabulous day today. You make everything wonderful. You make everything be full of light that you can shine into, that you can be. Don't let nobody take you away from your purpose and the plans that have been set up for you. And most importantly, if you don't know something, honey, before you fight against it, why don't you study it first? Just study it. Don't go bashing somebody about something you don't understand. You don't understand, say you don't understand it. Because a lot of things we go off of is what somebody taught somebody else and who taught them. And most of them, when they got taught the first time, was ignorance. And Hannah, we've been ignorant on a lot of things in our life. And so have our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, because they're going off of what somebody said and not from knowledge himself of learning and researching. Okay? That's all, honey. Don't open your mind, honey. Free yourself. I love you. Have a fabulous day. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I pray that you have been just enlightened and ready to go. See things you ain't never seen. Do things you never done. And know that someone is waiting on you to say, I've been waiting for you. About time you got here. Love you. Peace.